This is our second edition of Webcast Wednesday, where we talk about different tools for digital media and global literacies that you can use in your classroom. So last week we talked about a little bit about ePals, about connecting with other classrooms around the world to do collaborative projects. And today we're going to talk a little bit about a tool called PaperRater. So go ahead and minimize out of that. As before, everything's on my Assembly page here, so we're going to look at this link called PaperRater right here. So just double click that. And what PaperRater is it's a free online tool that does grammar and spell check, but also checks for originality. It's a proofreading tool that you can use as a teacher, but more likely you probably have the students use this tool in your class. So when you get your paper, you're not getting the first draft of the paper. You're getting maybe the second or third draft of the paper. So you're getting that student's best work, and not something that they just did kind of haphazardly or something that they turned in the first time. So let's go ahead and try it, show you what it looks like. All right, so they just get a little box like this. All they need to do is copy and paste their paper into this little box here, and then it'll check it. So as an example here, let's go ahead. I asked, Sean was kind enough to let me borrow an essay that a student had written for him last year that he had a copy of. So let's go ahead and copy that. We're going to paste it into this space. And let's just call that essay 1. Okay, and no works cited because this wasn't a research paper, it was an essay. This was an 8th grader and essay, and we're going to go, you can't see this here. All right, so it asks for the originality detection. So that'll tell you if it's an original paper or not. All right, click the terms of service because we always read those, and then let's get the report. So this just takes a second, even with the detection or the originality detection on here. It does kind of depend on how long the paper is. If it's a 10-page paper, obviously it's going to take longer than this was about a page and a half. So, so you can see you can do a printable summary here, and it'll include everything in the same. So let's just look at that. Even if we don't print it, it just is an easy way to look at it. So this paper was original. It's 83% original content. There's no spelling suggestions, no grammar suggestions. And this student used Microsoft Word, so they have that taken care of. Many of our students, though, if they're writing a paper at home, they might use Notepad or Word or the Works or some other type of program that doesn't have a good spelling and grammar check. So this is a way for them to check that online at no cost to them if they don't have the Microsoft Word. Word choice, no suggestions. They use good phrasing, good style, and this was a really good paper. Sean had given this paper an A, so no issues there. Vocabulary. This is an area where it says that the student could have done a better job is in vocabulary words. They kind of see this as an 8th grade level. Maybe they could have used a more sophisticated set of vocabulary, and it even has a vocabulary builder tool so where they can look for other words, switch some words around and improve it. And then since this student is an 8th grader, it does not give you a grade. If you have a student that has a 9th grade or higher, it will give a grade. And the good thing with that is if you have a student that maybe a high ability student or students at the end of their 8th grade year, if you want to see, kind of test them to see if they're ready for the 9th grade, this will give you a good idea of where they're at, and give them a good idea where they're at. If they want to have an A paper in your class, it's the end of the 8th grade year, and it's telling them they're doing B work in the 9th grade, they're probably want to improve that work before they give it to you. So this gives you a good idea. So let's go back now. The other piece of this I wanted to show is, so this was original work. This was an essay that was written for Sean's class. But let's try again. Let's see what a lot of our students do is when they go to do a report. Let's say a student has to do a report on the Civil War, and you see over here I got Wikipedia. That's what a lot of kids do. They'll just go over here and they'll copy and paste right here from the from Wikipedia, and said, I didn't have time last night. Didn't have time to get this research paper done that you've given me 6 months to do. So I'm just going to go copy that. I'm going to paste this into my thing, and boom, there's my report. And you guys have all had students that have done that before. So let's just call this the Civil War essay. And we're going to leave works cited blank because students that work at the last minute often forget that. Let's say it's a ninth grade student at this point because I want to show you how the grading piece of it works. Let's say this was a research paper. All right, and we want to include the originality detection. Again, agree to the terms and service. Make sure you have that little box checked. Get report. And this is going to take a little bit longer. Okay, so look at the summary. Alert. It was a research paper with no works cited page. I know I was talking to one of our 7th grade social studies teachers, and they said that was a big problem with the World's Fairs. Students were required to have a works cited page, but many of them didn't. So that's something this student would need to work on. Plagiarism detection. Big red flag here. It's 0% original. So this is something that the students can see themselves, or something that you can see if you have a paper that's in question. It just tells you which. Go back. All right, spelling suggestions. It gives you one spelling suggestion, no grammar suggestions. Good word choice. Wikipedia had good word choice. And then if we go down here, grade, this student was only given a C, and this is just based on a high school grading scale. So it's saying that even though what's on Wikipedia, it was only a C. So that's another thing you can tell the kids is, if you want to an A or B in the class, or you want to do well in the class, you need to look at a bigger variety of sources than just those one. So that's just a brief overview of PaperRater. Like I said, it's a great tool for kids to check their own writing, as they're going through the writing process. So when you get the paper, you're not getting the first version, you're getting version 2 or 3, and really hopefully a tool to help teach them to improve their writing. So thanks a lot for tuning in to episode 2, and everyone have a good week.